I wish my father was here today. He would love to tell his, his friends. He was very close to His Highness Sheikh Zayed. At the time of Sheikh Boot was the ruler, and His Highness Sheikh Zayed wanted to make his country green. He loved agriculture too much, and for that, at that time there was British rule here. So the British Viceroy here used to be Sir Hugh Bostard. This I'm talking early 60s. And we were young, and I even remember speaking to him a few times. So His Highness asked Sir Hugh Bostard that he would like to have a agriculture specialist, if he can find him. My father was that time doing his master's in agriculture in American University of Beirut, AUB. And so there the British Council somehow approached father, and father was very adventurous like me, and then he tried to find out more about it, where it is, what it was called, Trucial States, our region at that time. And he accepted it, the offer, not knowing where he is going. And what father used to tell us is that His Highness Sheikh Zayed, Sultan Al Nahyan, he used to go out to Europe and different countries, and he used to see greenery over there. He loved it. And then he told father that I would like to make my country similar, green. How can you help? And father was, very energetic, optimistic. And he says, I will do what I can. And then at that time, they had brought some consultants and some Britishers to see what can be done here. So when their report came, and they were all saying that no, it's a very harsh climate here, and you cannot really do it. Cannot turn it green. So father, he tells us that day, my father was also there. So His Highness caught my father's hand and he says, Khan, you are with me. We will do it. He didn't believe the reports, and then he encouraged father to do it. And father said, yes, I will, we will. Father came, from Pakistan, originally.
From Karachi.
From Karachi, yeah. But then we were all, from that time we were all born and raised in Al Ain, and did all education and stuff. Initially I did some of my education in Pakistan also, because there wasn't any good schools at that time here, at that time in 60s. And then His Highness sent me to England. I went I did my A-levels in England, and then that time, we were being raised, and that time there were very few people here, and so I was very close to all Sheikh Zayed, His Highness's sons. I was Sheikh Sultan bin Zayed was like my age group, and we were very close. Several times he used to come and pick me from my house. And then Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, also we used to play soccer. I was here in summer and I went to see His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Zayed in his house, in his palace. And he asked, I haven't seen you for a while, where were you, what was happening? And then I told him I'm studying in England, doing A-levels. And then he says, no, and under whose sponsorship? And I told him, education department. He said, no, you should be with us. He was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces at that time. And you should go with our sponsorship. When I had joined and I was there and Sheikh Mohammed knew, so he had put my name as a fighter pilot, Sheikh Mohammed Zayed. And, but I had already started my education doing my aviation aircraft engineering. So I did my flying as a hobby. I completed it, but I didn't complete as a fighter pilot because I had already done, in engineering. So I stayed in States till 87. And in the 7 years I did about 7 different degrees. Then Sheikh Mohammed himself, at that time we had started a new Gulf aircraft maintenance company, GAMCO. So he transferred me there to look after the UAE Air Force aircrafts, etc. And there also I spent some time, and then I did some projects at that time. Then they had started Offset Group, which is now called Mubadala. So some of the initial projects with them I did in GAMCO. I remember $8 million there was the initial ATEC. We put some things in the aircraft testing equipment. That was a new technology. Finally, it's a long time of service there, and Air Force, and then GAMCO. So they are still running and doing very well, mashallah. And then I had, now I'm a businessman.